What's going on, family? Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank, and today I want to talk about an elephant that's always been in the room when it comes to African Americans and the continent of Africa. And the elephant is most African Americans just can't afford to go to Africa. That's just the truth. Most African Americans cannot afford to go to Africa, even though they want to go to Africa. There are some African Americans
I mean,
that
that's
they know
true.
in their lives they haven't reached a point where they can freely travel the world or even go on a vacation. Most African Americans, they're so busy working, they don't have time to go on vacation. Most African Americans are so busy paying the astronomical bills that we got to pay, they don't have the extra money to go to Africa. Most
That's
African
facts.
Americans can barely leave their towns. Most African Americans stay within 100 yards of where they were born, and they don't even go 100 miles where they were born, and they don't even go anywhere. Maybe
That's
if they're on
facts
the East
also.
Coast, they'll go down. If let's say you're in like from New York to DC to Florida, like that corridor is how far most Black people on the East Coast will go. They'll go to New York because it's cheap, and most Black people who are not from New York and is quite a distance from New York, maybe will go to New York once in their lifetime because it's a big deal to travel that far. Most Black people don't get to go to Florida and Disneyland. They can get on if they can scrape up enough money to go on a vacation. They may be able to do it a couple times in their lifetimes, right? Depending on their proximity. Let alone so traveling all the way on to the other side of the world, booking a hotel and having money to go out and do an excursions is a daunting task for most people.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's honestly the way for most Americans. I feel like most Americans aren't really cultured, and most Americans honestly don't feel the need to leave the country. I mean, that goes for any type of American that you could think of. White Americans, Black Americans, Asian Americans, they don't really feel the need to leave the country because, I mean, there's no real incentive to leave the country. I mean, that's just what it is. Speaking specifically for Black Americans, I mean, we're so ignorant about the culture and we're so ignorant about Africa in itself. I mean, there's no real need for us to really leave like that, like talking about it.
So most people in their lives, they'll pick maybe one or two places they've always wanted to go, and they'll do their damnedest to save as much money in an economy that doesn't allow you to save money, and they'll try to make as much time in an economy that doesn't create time for you to go on vacation. Most people maybe get 2 vacation weeks a year, right? And sometimes those vacation weeks are used up because they got sick, or used up because they had to take vacation to go do some pressing family business, right? Not everybody gets to have those 2 week vacations and have money to go anywhere and do anything. So there's a lot of frustrated African Americans who just can't get to the continent. And then sometimes that frustration turns into other things because they don't want to just admit that I want to go to Africa, I can't go. So
It's
they'll
not
make
that many of
excuses, or
them, to
maybe
be
they'll
honest.
become back combative, which is just an
There's not that
insecurity
many
or
of them.
projection of their
Not nowadays.
their feelings towards not being able to go. So maybe they'll reject Africa because they can't get there. There's a lot of people in the FBA cult movement who just can't afford to go to Africa. So they're like, F Africa, I can't
That
afford to go
too.
there anyway.
That too.
They'll never make it to Africa. Going to Africa to some people is like going to the moon. It's absolutely nowhere they're getting to the moon. Now, is there a mechanism for them to get to the moon? Yeah, there is a mechanism. Can they access that mechanism?
Like I said, that goes for most Americans also, but I mean, he does have a point about the Black Americans. I mean, most Americans can't think of anything of the world outside of America. I mean, the world or America is the world to a lot of Americans. They can't think of anything else. So, I mean, he's not wrong. That applies to Black Americans also.
Highly probably not, right? And so we create a culture of people who just sit back in America like, well, shit, I'm just Black then. I'm just gonna get rid of this Africanness. I'm just gonna be Black. I'm just my Africa's here. I'm just gonna be Black. I'll never get to go there. And then they have one or two bad experiences with a continental African, or they see one or two experiences on the internet because they themselves have never actually had a bad experience with an African, and then they just take on that sentiment because they're stuck. They're stuck where they are, right? And this goes for most people. Most white people can't. It's this what I'm saying about
There it
black
is.
people is true for the majority of the planet. The majority of the planet can't get up and go anywhere. They can't. People can just get up and get on planes and go to other countries. That's not a normal thing that the all of humanity has been able to do
Factual.
freely because it's still quite expensive.
There's
And
billions of us.
logistically, it can cost more, right? Because there's more to just going on.
And people not letting you into their country like that. I mean, there's only a few places that certain people that really want to go. And I mean, certain countries, they're not letting people into their country like that. Let's just be honest. Particularly Western countries. That's just what it is.
Vacation than just buying a plane ticket, right? What's the point of going somewhere if you don't even have extra money to spend? You got to buy the plane ticket, right? Buy the hotel and have money to spend and have a good time and have redundant money just in case of emergencies. That right there is and then while you're doing that, you still got bills back home that are still going and is not waiting for you, right? So to put yourself together to actually go somewhere, that can be quite difficult. And there are also a group of people, because they can't go, they live vicariously through other people who do travel. That's why travel channels are very popular because people, if I can't go there, I'll just watch somebody else go there and experience it, and then I'll experience it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually pretty good, and that's part of the reason why some people watch my channel, right? So my dog's over there play fighting. They know I'm doing videos, but they don't care. They do what they like. But anyway, yeah. So that is it. But what I'm hoping is I'm hoping that as we move forward, that travel becomes cheaper. That maybe African
It won't.
Americans, African Caribbean, and African Latinos create businesses that create the environment, that create a situation where people who otherwise couldn't travel can travel. You
Not
know what I'm saying?
anytime
Because
soon.
even you got some of these people who are in the business of doing travel tours, they actually take advantage of people who are naive on traveling and they overcharge them. So it's hard to get a good deal because you get overcharged by all the people doing tours. You
They
get
do.
drastically overcharged. And if you try to do it yourself, you may mess around and spend too much money. Like you may not know the lay of the land. It can be difficult to navigate the traveling atmosphere without being screwed over by somebody, whether it's an American screwing you over on a price or whether you
Like I said, that's part of the American ignorance problem. I mean, a lot of times Americans, the world doesn't exist outside of America. So whenever we actually do go outside of America, sometimes it's it's kind of like we kind of like it's too much for our britches. So a lot of times we do get scammed, we do overpay. So I mean, that's just something we got to learn, particularly for us black people.
get into the country and getting screwed over by a local who see that you naive and green and never traveled and take advantage of you there. Either way, it can happen, right? So, and that goes with everywhere you go. Every place you go is like that. Every place you go. So I'm just hoping that people creating maybe resorts that are reasonably priced that cover everything that could kind of give you baby steps, kind of bring you into the
Uh,
country and
I don't
kind of
see
like
that
baby
happening.
step you throughout the process. There's got to be a way that we can encourage and help people who normally afford to travel to be able to at least travel
There's
to go at
certainly a
least once
way.
or twice to a place of their dreams, right?
There's certainly a way, but I feel like it takes a certain amount of people, and I feel like us as Black Americans, we just aren't there yet. There are us that do know about how this system works, and we probably could navigate a certain way. We probably could make an economic powerhouse, but I feel like the numbers have to be there because there could be, I don't know, 50,000 of us. I'm just throwing out a number, 50,000, but I don't feel like that's a significant number compared to how many of us there are in the United States. There's millions of us. 50,000, that's a drop in a bucket. And I feel like even if we do some type of system where it's just 50,000 of us, that won't be enough. That's just how I feel.
But the fact remains, everybody needs to take in consideration why you see all the black people traveling to Africa. These are the black people who have the capability. And out of the
Right.
grand group of African Americans, that's not that, well, that's just a pretty good chunk. Let me not lie.
No, that's not a good chunk. He's right. He was right initially. I mean, anytime you see these YouTubers, these vloggers, they are the minority. These celebrities that go back to Africa that say that we need to go back to Africa, they are the minority. They actually have the resources and connections to do it. Most Americans, most black Americans, we don't have that connection.
African Americans doing pretty good in America, but there's still a large
Relatively.
portion who cannot travel, which is about
Relatively.
80%. The 20% of people traveling, that's still a big number for traveling because there's some
Yeah,
groups of people on the planet that's less than 20% can even travel, less than 20%. Okay, but yeah, but let's just keep that in perspective that traveling is expensive, and African Americans have still yet fully breathed, have fully gotten out there the way. I mean, we're out there. You see us all over the internet, and just in the last 10 years, you've seen an uptick in African American travel, uptick in African American travel vlogs,
this is
giving the
true.
information to the people,
This is true.
about places to go, places not to go. Because now we see all the places that we used to think would be romantic to go to. Now you see our African Americans saying, hey, don't go to these places.
This
They
is
stink.
facts.
The people are trash. They're racist. They're this and that.
This is
These
facts.
places are no longer as romanticized as they used to be back in the day before we really started getting out there and to
This
be
is
able to
facts.
show our people on social media about these places for real, right? So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Just keep it in perspective that we're still in a situation where most African Americans can't travel. And that causes certain sentiment amongst those people who don't have the capability because it can be frustrating to have a desire to do something and not be able to do it because of the economic situation you find yourself in. That most of the times you can't even really control. So anyway,
Let's be real too. Also, the people that actually can't travel, there's a certain mindset that's been ingrained into them that they shouldn't travel. Also, I mean, they're kind of brainwashed about Africa. I feel like they're brainwashed about Africa. I'm talking about Black Americans. They're brainwashed about Africa. There's certain things that they think about the continent that obviously aren't true. So it's not only that their economic circumstances won't allow them to go to Africa, but they're being so brainwashed that even if they actually had the money, they won't actually go if they had the opportunity. Certain people. I mean, I'm talking specifically about the FBA, ADOS community. Certain people, they are so far gone. I don't think they'd even go to the continent if they had the opportunity.
tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
80% of African Americans, stop pretending, cannot afford to come to Africa.
Wow, really?
I'm saying they cannot afford. They may want it in their heart, but America has them shoed, have them bootstrapped, tied.
This is
Because guess
facts.
what? They have to pay mortgage every month. They have to pay their car note every month. They
This
have to
is
pay their
facts.
insurance every month. They can't even
Student
watch
loans.
DSTV unless they pay every
Car
month.
notes.
Wow.
So how are you going to have money to say, let me go back and learn about my family,
Black people can't even give up subscriptions.
my history, my roots from every month? You have to worry about, I got to pay this. I got to pay. When do you get a break to think?
Wow.
But that's the system. This allows me to control you left, right. Because you never have time to stop and say, oh, how do I work on this or where do I go from here?
And shit, even if they do figure it out, or if we do figure it out, they'll just burn your city. They'll bomb your city. Fuck, you can ask Tulsa. You can ask Philadelphia. If you ever do figure it out, they'll just bomb your city or arrest everybody, murder you. It don't really matter in America.
You don't have that time. And when you live in America, most people, if they're being honest, on the first of the month, from the first to about the 20th, 25th of the month is when you finish paying your bills.
Wow. Wow.
You probably got about maybe 5 to 7 days in a month that you can actually think without thinking about.
Yeah. Anyways, I I appreciate y'all for watching this video, man. I really do. Congrats if you made it this far. If you have any thoughts about this reaction, if you want to suggest something for the next video, just comment down below. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to build a community over here, man. Check out the links down below. Check out my Odyssey. Check out my Patreon. Also got a community Discord. Check that out. As always, thank you for watching, champions. I really appreciate it. Until next time. Bye.